just trying to, hopefully, I might have just kicked myself off of YouTube. I might have to restart the stream over. I don't know yet.
And I'm the rookie.
This is true. Okay, it says I'm live. Excuse me. Yeah, it's still not coming through. What the hell is going on?
Restream is not restreaming.
It's just YouTube. Like everything else is working.
Well, how could it be YouTube?
Hey, Freaky Geek. No, it's showtime.
I don't even see where's he.
You're gonna have to, because I shut down the YouTube and popped it back up. Hey, Nicole. You're gonna have to.
Ron mooning.
Ron's over there mooning.
Yeah. So what I got to do? Shut everything down and bring everything back up, or just the chat?
Just the YouTube chat.
All right, give me a second.
Hey, Blue.
Okay. Oh no, what'd I do? Oh.
Yeah,
no.
YouTube is naughty. It's been changing up. Yeah, all the time.
Oh, that's America.
But for some reason, it's not showing up on the stupid restream. Yeah, there you go, Ron. Nerd of the North. What the hell's now? What's going on? Oh. Oh my God.
Don't talk for a second.
Okay. Not talking. Hi, Lisa.
Shut up.
Sorry.
I am so confused.
Me too.
Oh, no. No, I didn't want to do that. Go away.
Yeah, I know, Ron, right?
Wait a minute. All right, I got to go. I think we'll find out here in a minute.
You got to go where?
I can't go anywhere. No, I should be all right.
Your OBS is not picking up.
That's not my fault.
Hit up your OBS. Pull it up on screen.
I do.
You have it? Do you see the typing?
No. Just the ones that are over here.
Okay.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Freaky. What's up, Ron?
Okay, there it goes. All right, guys.
Let him smoke.
Him? I'm the producer.
Exactly. That's why you have to stay here.
Oh, I see how it goes.
But I don't see the cam.
You're not going to be able to see the cams.
Why?
Because you're not.
I can see him now. I will figure this out eventually.
Oh, my goodness. All right, guys. Okay, I don't need that up.
Well, as you can tell, Freaky, it sounds like we're just waking up.
Something's happening here.
TTVP, good morning. Good morning, Nicole.
Hey, through the veil. Hey, who'd I miss? Hey, Ron. Hey, Lisa.
That's what I had to do. I had to go back through to see who I missed.
I know. All right, I'm just going to switch it over and get started.
Before we screw something else up.
All right, now we want this in the spotlight. There we go. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Wait, where's your picture?
Down in the right-hand corner, remember?
No.
Oh, no.
I don't see your camera.
You don't have to see my camera.
Yeah, I do.
Why?
Because. Where is your camera? Why do they get to see me, but they can't see you?
They can see me and you.
Then why can't I see you?
What? I don't know what you have it on.
Well, you told me to put it on.
Because remember, you forgot we put the chat over on the other side? Oh, God. What is going on, guys?
All right.
Yeah, y'all set over there now?
I need a beer. Holy shit, what the hell happened now?
What did you do now?
My YouTube went full screen.
Oh, good morning, guys.
All right.
You good now?
I think so.
Are you ready for the magnet?
Oh shit. I forgot about that.
Oh, Lord.
Wait a minute. I gotta turn my camera off for a second. Oh, what the fuck is going on?
Shadow, you're not but a moment in like it's frozen, but Chaos said he could not see you.
Because Chaos was on the wrong side of the page.
Yeah. So Chaos is getting his magnet ready.
Oh.
Nothing much. Getting ready to print my tickets. You going bye-bye?
Who?
Through the veil.
Where's she going?
Where are you going? Why are you not taking us with you?
She just came in the room.
All right, you got your magnet?
Yeah.
All right, I got to put my magnet on.
You gotta love my new fashion headband.
It's actually my wig holder. All right.
Oh, yeah. He's printing tickets like printing money. Oh, she's going to Boston.
Boston. I used to live there.
Do I have the
Boston?
North side?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
All right, guys, we got our magnets on. Second day.
Yeah, I was told again today I'm not allowed to go anywhere. Ooh, was you a bad boy?
Ooh.
You freaky geek got a little alien dude up there.
That's right. The aliens did it. They came and messed with his computer. Oh, doctor.
Oh.
Damn, that's not good. Damn doctors, anyway. It feels weird this morning.
Oh, TTVP, I agree. I hate wearing a mask.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the only grocery store we have in this town, if you don't wear it, you ain't going shopping.
Yeah, that's true. I have that one freaky geek with the kid kitted out. What? What's the matter?
Long delay.
Oh. I'm sorry. So today is Tuesday's True Crime. This is really going to screw them up because you got your story pulled up.
No, you're pushing shit now.
Oh no! The sound cut out for me?
Yeah, he said we're back.
Okay.
Ron.
Really, Ron?
You know,
wow.
I'm really glad they really can't see this clearly.
So if you're new here, we're doing a magnet experiment. So this is the second day. We have to do this 10 minutes or 30 minutes a day for a month to see if it opens up our third eye. It's an experiment. We're trying it out. And it feels, did yours feel weird today?
Cold.
I think it's like pushing right on one of my sinuses because I'm like, all of a sudden I can't. I'm like, ugh. I mean, I'm like that every day, but you know how it goes.
Let's see. Right click. Open a new window.
I know, Ron. We can't get his camera fixed right.
What's wrong with my camera?
Ron said Mr. Chaos is a little tipsy on the pic. Because the way the camera is.
Oh, because I got it.
Yeah. Don't break the camera.
Shut up.
He's gonna break the camera, guys.
I probably am. Why won't I? It won't tilt.
I know, because it's all the way up as far as it'll go.
No, it won't straighten out.
Because the ball is all the way up.
Why'd you do that?
I didn't do it. It's the arm.
You're the one that put the arm like that. So you did do it.
You told me where to put it, and I put it. That didn't sound right. But anyway, today on Tuesday's Crime Day, we are discussing the death of Superman. Was the star of the 50s TV show The Adventures of Superman murdered? Then we're talking about the Amityville Horrors. Everybody knows about Amityville. But was there another gunman in the notorious killings? After that, we'll be discussing the Taman Shud Case. Was the identified man found on Adelaide Beach in 1948 a Cold War spy? And last but not least, we're going to talk about the woman that was found dead in a wych elm tree in wartime England. Was she a Nazi spy? We'll discuss that and more, so stay tuned. Are you all right?
No.
Are you hearing things?
The friggin' backhoe.
Oh.
I felt if it looks like I'm panicking a little bit every now and then, it's because they're still doing construction right outside. So it'll rattle our floor.
Oh, yeah. So, and after that, of course, you know how it goes on the second half of the show. If you guys want to come up and discuss what's going on and everything, you can't call in today, unfortunately, because Blog Talk Radio is down for maintenance, which is absolutely lovely. And, but I'll share the link if you guys want to come up and talk about the stories, what you guys think about the stories. And don't forget, at the end of the show, as I roll the credits, you know where to head. All right, guys, you ready to get started? Are you ready to get started? No?
But see, now, I pulled up my story.
Oh.
But I can't see chat or anything now.
Right. It's one or the other.
That's bullshit.
I know. You see, he's all pokey in that at the camera. When you were messing with the camera, Ron's like, don't poke us. So, and as you can see, we're streaming on a different platform. We're trying something else out. If the kid was possessed, don't that make it a yes? It kind of does, but that's not what they're aiming for in this story for Yeek. Yes, S is up and is down. The north has to be right on the third eye.
Or real close to it.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I
don't know. The way I got the band on today, I feel like I'm Chinese. It's like pushing down my eyes.
You look like you're going to work out.
Look out, Richard Simmons, here I come.
You should wear your thing that Jason got you for the restaurant.
Oh, it's down in the restaurant.
Oh, the red, white, and blue band.
Yeah, the Harlem Globetrotters.
Bruce Lee. No problem. Yeah, the North Pole. You're supposed to use a monomagnet, but apparently they don't make them anymore, or they just, I don't know.
Maybe that's just what he called it.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, Bruce Lee. All right.
The fighting tiger.
That's right. Your little pix down on the right is bigger than on dlive Oh, really? That's weird. That's very weird.
I don't know. I can't see anything.
Did you understand what he was saying? Like our little pics that are down on the right-hand side.
They're bigger on dlive than they are on Restream.
No, than they are on YouTube.
Oh, we're on YouTube too?
Yeah.
I don't know. I shut mine down. I just have the pop-up chat.
Well, yeah. Wow. Shadow, they make a magnet that's very strong, but I think also costly. Could have used that one of those. Well, you know what, Freaky Geek? I tried ordering. I was going to order a fishing magnet.
Now, picture this: the size of these magnets, and she was going to try to wear that on her forehead.
I was trying to, but they wouldn't ship it up here. So I had to go with this. A lot of magnets wouldn't be allowed shipped up here. So
yeah, because believe it or not, magnet fishing up here is illegal.
Yeah, but we can snag.
Yeah.
Well, no. Let me. If you guys were to come up, you couldn't snag. We're local. We live here, so we can snag.
No,
which is odd.
Anybody can snag.
No, it's written down there that if you're not a resident.
Oh, did they change that?
Yeah.
Well, then I'm screwed.
Well, no, because you've lived here for 40 years.
Doesn't matter. My ID still says New York.
We have the paperwork. Okay, through the veil.
Have a snake trip.
Snag fishing? You want to, since you snag fish, I don't. I lure fish.
What about it?
Explain it. Freaky Geek wants to know what snag fishing is.
It's a tri-hook, and it weighs approximately about a pound. And you just launch it out into the water, and then you give it a tug. You reel like 2 or 3 times. You tug again. It's just snag fishing. It's blind fishing, really, is what you're doing.
Even if I could get one on the black market, they probably still wouldn't ship it here.
Probably not.
Yeah. Oh, like jigging. Kinda. But you're just doing, instead of a little bit jig, you're reeling, then pulling.
Yeah, you're just trying to set the hook in them.
Apparently in Newfoundland, it's now illegal there too. Snag. See, that's just it. Like, you have to be a resident of Alaska to be able to snag fish. Just because a lot of natives up here, that's how they fend for the winter and everything. So, yeah.
You know, this is interesting.
What's interesting?
We're almost 30 minutes into the show, and we haven't even started talking about anything.
I know. Shut up.
Fix your magnet.
Why? What's wrong with my magnet? It is. It's got to be sitting right on a freaking either nerve or my sinus or something, because it's like... Okay, so the first story is the death of Superman. Do I dare share? Yeah, that's true.
All right, I'm just closing this out for now.
Freaky Geeks, and you're talking about magnets and fishing. That's something. That's true. That's true. We'll go ahead and, we'll use that part.
Hey, do I get moon cookies?
If you're in dlive.
I'm not in dlive.
Well, then I guess you don't get moon cookies.
You told me to put on OBS. What the hell's going on?
All right, I want a spot like that.
See, check it out. I don't even get moon cookies.
He shouldn't. So the death of the salesman. Wow, we're going way back there now. Holy shit. The death of Superman was the star of the 50s show, Adventures of Superman Murdered.
I thought Batman killed him.
So that's him, right? That's George Reeves. For anybody that don't know, George Reeves.
I know.
Oh.
I said that he's old.
Well,
it's an old...
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was in the 50s. So it says, as TV's original Superman, George Reeves was the ultimate hero to millions of children. But the scandalous and suspicious way he met his death in 1959 could not have been further removed from his role as the Man of Steel. Sprawled naked on his bed, Reeves had been shot in the head after a late-night party at his house. How he came to meet his grisly end is a story as disputed and controversial today as when the scandal rocked Hollywood at the height of the actor's fame. Tall and chiseled jaw?
No, this is actually the first Superman, wasn't it?
Yeah. George Reeves was the first ever Superman. Christopher Reeves is the one.
That broke his neck.
Yeah. Tall and chiseled jaw, Reeves was the perfect choice to play the all-American hero in a syndicated television show called The Adventures of Superman from 1952 to 1958. He starred in 104 episodes, but by the late 50s, it had declined in popularity and was put into hiatus after its 6th season. And then this came out. TV Superman kills himself with a gun.
I don't think he committed suicide.
Reeves, who took his acting career very seriously and had parts in Gone with the Wind and From Here to Eternity, always had mixed feelings about his fame as Superman. Nevertheless, the end of this chronic role reportedly hit him hard, and at 45, typecast, unemployed, and overweight, he found himself reduced to appearing in commercials and celebrity boxing matches.
Adelaide Lacrosse, just subscribed.
Well, thank you so much for the subscription.
Excuse me. She just joined.
I didn't get no. Oh,
You didn't hear the bell?
No, I didn't hear the bell.
It made some kind of weird noise.
Oh, wow. Sorry about that, but thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. The official verdict was that Reeves had committed suicide. The weight of his troubles had become too much for him to bear. However, many of his friends and colleagues believed the actor was murdered. His death the stormy culmination of a tangled love life. It was an open secret in the business that Reeves had been conducting a long-term affair with Toni Mannix, the wife of notorious Hollywood fixer and MGM vice president Eddie Mannix. They had even planned to marry if Eddie were to die. Oh, duh. Hey, Beth. I totally forgot that. I thought the name sounded familiar, but I was like, I don't know.
She got to understand. If I see her screen name like that, that's what I'm calling you. See, Freaky said he heard it sound like a bell ring 3 times.
Oh, maybe I got my sound turned up or down, I mean.
I don't know.
Could be. Hey, Shrimp Shack.
Hey, Shrimp Shack. Beth says I can't sneak in here.
I know, right? I knew it sounded familiar, but it didn't put 2 to 2 together. The year before Reeves' death, he was abruptly ended his relationship with Mannix, leaving her for a younger New York socialite, Lenore Lemon. Hey, oh. I saw Freaky Geek say hello there, and I was like, hey!
I already said hi to you.
I was like, all right. Reeves himself believed Mannix was behind the succession of sinister events that dogged Reeves in the run-up to his death, including silent midnight phone calls and the kidnapping of his beloved schnauzer, Sam. Had the jilted older woman taken things a step too far and shot Reeves in a jealous rage? So, let me go over. You have to excuse me because I'm not used to this setup here. So, that's George Reeves with the Toni Mannix, who was the VP of MGM's wife. And as you heard, if Eddie had died, they were going to planned on getting married. Apparently, that's how it worked back then.
Yeah, shrimp turned into a whale.
Or was the culprit his new girlfriend, the volatile and temperamental Lemon, who had argued with Reeves the night of his death about the late-night party she was having while he tried to sleep off his own night of heavy drinking? More sinister still, did Eddie Mannix, a man whose job it was to make Hollywood scandals go away, pull some of his underworld strings and hire a hitman to erase the man who had so grievously upset his wife?
I don't think he committed suicide.
I don't know. To unravel the murky fate of TV's first superhero, we must return to the early hours of June 16, 1959. The night Superman died and the enduring mystery was born.
Is that when the music died?
No.
Oh.
around the same era, but not the same time.
That's okay.
Yeah. At around 2 a.m. that morning, 2 police officers arrived at 1579 Benedict Canyon, Los Angeles, the house Reeves had been living in with his new fiancée, Lenore Lemon. I keep saying Lemon. During the previous few months, Lemon had called them after she and her party guest had found Reeves dead in the bedroom. Those guests were neighbors Carol Van Wuckel, her lover Robert Candon, and another neighbor William Bliss. Due to their advanced state of inebriation, the party guests were not entirely coherent, but they all seemed to agree on the suicide story. At 1:20 a.m., a bad-tempered Reeves had admonished the trio for their noise, returning upstairs. So he was pissed that she was having a party while he was trying to sleep off his hangover.
So he's going to go commit suicide.
Yeah.
Because he needed sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened next is mirrored in controversy, but according to police interviews with the witness, a short moment later, a shot was heard, and the man who became famous for being impervious to gunfire had ironically ended his life with a bullet to the head. The subsequent police report seemed to accept the whole story at face value.
Do you know what's funny about that?
What?
Even in the TV series and all that, he was bulletproof.
Right.
But never once was a gun aimed at his head. It was always at his chest.
That's true. So they took the whole story at face value. George Reeves was depressed, and while entertaining guests at his home, he inexplicably left the room, placed a pistol to his right temple, and pulled the trigger. It all seems so simple.
It would be.
Excuse me.
But the problem is, I believe he was left-handed.
Well, let's see. I think Christopher Reeves was left-handed.
Oh.
However, a number of suspicious details about the case have long piqued the interest of gossip mongers and armchair detectives alike. That's what we are, guys. We're armchair detectives. Why had Lemon waited so long, 45 minutes or so, to call the police? Was it true she was heard to say he's going to shoot himself after Reeves had left the party to go back to bed?
How would she know that?
Yeah. Hey, Cassie. How you doing?
Hi, Cassie. Did your chairs have arms?
They do. They do.
Kinda. They just don't have hands.
You can't. Oh, here. Let me.
Hey, Mary.
Whoops. Hey, Mary. I'll put the link in.
I want to know if the arms have hands too. I just told you, freaky. We don't.
There was a delay. Here we go, Beth.
Eli's lurking.
Everybody, make sure you wish Eli a happy birthday.
Yes,
It's his birthday today.
Birthday boy, Eli.
I don't know if that was supposed to be.
I don't either. It sounded like truck brakes. So for the ones that are just coming in just now.
Yeah, go ahead and explain.
Please ignore our headgear. We're doing the magnet experiment.
Yes.
So we got about 11 more minutes.
11 more minutes?
Yeah.
We have to wear a magnet for 30 days.
A half hour a day for 30 days.
Obispo, I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong.
What is that over in dlive?
Trevo. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just keep it one.
Nope, you can't sneak in there because I know Summer Breeze. I know that's you over there, Bethy.
Trust me, freaky geek.
I said Bethy. Oh my God, I'm turning into Cassie.
I am watching the time.
Welcome to the channel. OBI. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry.
I can't see him. I just got to take your word for it. So, hey, hello and welcome.
Thank you so much. I don't know what that was for, but I got I got points for something. I don't know what that was.
Style points for your headband.
Is that it? Style points for my magnet? So yeah, the experiment is you wear this 30 minutes a day for 30 days.
Thank you, Eli.
And it's supposed to help open up your third eye. We're experimenting. We're seeing what's going on.
Well, thank you for the ice cream.
Thank you for the ice cream. I heard that one, so that's must
what
be
it was.
Yeah.
What the hell was it you going to say?
I don't know.
Oh, we're doing this for the ones that don't know. Shadows did a story on this.
Yes, where this guy ended up seeing apparitions and the wall melting and him going into his world.
Yeah, and the longer he wore the magnet, the clearer that this apparition became, and at one point looked just like a regular person.
Yeah, and
so
became interactive.
We figure we'll give it a shot and see what happens.
Yeah. They want to know when they start to see the wall melt. I know.
Stay away from acid and you'll never see a wall melt.
So we are talking, let's get back into this story about Superman. So he went up and, like I said, the police took the story for face value, that he was depressed, and he placed the pistol to his right temple and pulled the trigger. However, a number of suspicious details about the case have long piqued the interest of gossip mongers and armchair detectives alike. Why had Lemon waited so long? 45 minutes or so to call the police.
Give the guy time to get away.
And she told everybody he's going to shoot himself after Reeves left the party and went back to bed. The police also appear to be behaving in a careless manner. No photos of the body were taken, and the crime scene was not properly searched or dusted for prints. Reeves initially had no autopsy, and his body was swiftly embalmed.
Imagine that.
The ballistics looked all wrong, too. The actor had no burn marks on his hand or face. How he had shot himself in the head with a pistol without leaving powder burns. 3 bullet holes were found in the bedroom, all caused by the Luger that was... Is that how you say it?
Luger, yeah.
Luger that was found rusting between the victim's legs.
Now, okay, I'm not a cop. I'm not a detective. But if you got a gun in your hand, and Lemon said you heard 1 shot.
Yeah.
But there's 3 bullet holes.
Yes.
You shoot yourself in the head. I do not see the odds of a gun falling between your legs.
I didn't say loogie.
I nearly heard booger.
So it said, had Reeves really shot himself 3 times? And how had the fatal bullet ended up in the ceiling while the shell rested underneath his body?
So he shot himself this way?
No. They'll tell you. Despite these suspicions, the Los Angeles Police Department officially ruled the death a suicide on little more than a curiosity investigation, whatever. Where Hollywood's police force keeping a lid on the truth to protect Tinseltown from another scandal?
Yep.
And did that scandal involve one of the most powerful men in the movie business, Tony Maddox's husband, Eddie? Damn it, Eddie.
I'm all over the place.
Perhaps.
And I'm still friggin' broke.
Perhaps fueled by a disbelief that the Man of Steel could ever take his own life. Speculations and theories have abounded for more than 50 years that Lemon Mannix and her husband, or even a hitman, were responsible for the death of Superman.
Yeah, what's going on, Eli?
Is there any truth to the persistent rumors that Reeves was murdered? So, evidence for the return of Superman. The main reason Reeves was said to have committed suicide was depression over his declining fortunes as an actor. Superman had been canceled, and Reeves had struggled to find the serious work he craved. However, friends and relatives think Reeves' career troubles were exaggerated.
Thank you, Summer Breeze.
And in actual fact, The Adventures of Superman was due to return.
Is Summer Breeze, Beth?
Yes.
For some reason, I figured that one out.
Because Superman was due to return in 1960, and with a higher pay packet for Reeves and a promise that he would do and able to direct more of the episodes, something he enjoyed doing on the last
He'd
three shows.
be able to produce and direct more.
Yeah.
So again, why would you commit suicide?
He also had lined up a science fiction script called Return to Earth by screenwriter Sidney Fields that he had hoped to direct, possibly with his Superman co-star Phyllis Coates as one of the lead roles. Coates was amongst many of Reeves' friends and co-stars who did not believe that he killed himself. If anything, it seemed like Reeves' career was on the up. Would the actor, generally described as an ordinary, straightforward kind of guy, really have killed himself in a house full of guests, especially choosing to do so naked? Highly unusual in suicides.
Not only that, you said the fatal bullet ended up in the ceiling.
Right.
And the casings were underneath him.
Yes. George Reeves' mother, Helen Basello, never accepted the official verdict and hired a private investigator to reopen the investigation into his death. She even commissioned a second autopsy,
Beth is yelling it wrong. I'm sorry.
Which concluded that Reeves was possibly murdered. But this has no official status and could not overrule the coroner's verdict of suicide.
It's got to be some kind of cover-up. There's no way. There's so much evidence they're saying he did not commit suicide.
Number 2, faster than a speeding bullet. Even outside of the world of comic books, bullets sometimes do funny things. And that was certainly in the case of the death of George Reeves. According to the autopsy report, Reeves had taken his .30 caliber German Luger pistol, placed it next to his right temple, and pulled the trigger. He died instantly and fell backwards. His feet still hung over the bed and his back on the mattress. The gun fell to his feet and the shells found underneath him. So
now, hold on.
Okay.
What you just read there, They say that the gun fell to his feet. Earlier in the story, it said it fell between his legs.
Right. Well, this is where he shot himself.
Okay, yeah, in the right temple.
Yeah.
That sketch artist sucks.
For some reason, Reeves had contorted his head so it was tilted upwards at the point of firing, as the bullet was found embedded in the ceiling. If his death was a suicide, Reeves must have held the gun with his right hand. Although this in itself is suspicious, as the actor had injured his right hand in an automobile accident a few weeks prior to his death.
Yeah, but it depends on... Oh. Okay, it's back, I think. No, it's got a really bad lag.
You hope what don't like you, Buffy?
Dice, or the day. Or the day, because it's got to be the dice. Dang you, Streamlabs. But if it was a couple of weeks prior,
right,
his hand might have been able to heal.
Reeves' head and hands had no signs of gunshot residue or powder burns. Even if the actor had not placed the gun in his head at point blank range, it's usual in suicides to have found some obvious marks on his forehead.
Well, on the forehead, and you're going to get powder burn on your fingers.
Inexplicably, the shell casing was found underneath Reeves' body. Since a 9mm Luger generally ejects its shells to the right, it's hard to conceive what position the actor must have been in when he fired it for it to have ended up underneath him.
That don't make any sense.
Other evidence that casts out...
I gotta turn my camera off for a second.
Oh, we can take them off?
Yes.
All right. Day 2 is done, guys. Oh, that feels weird.
It does. It feels weirder today than it did yesterday.
Okay. Day 2 of the magnet experiment done. I'm not seeing anything weird.
28 more days to go.
Table.
Hey!
What?
Was not very nice. All right.
Other evidence that cast doubt on the scenario is the lack of burn marks on Reeves' back. If he had really fallen backwards onto a freshly ejected shell case,
he would have a burn
it
mark.
would have been hot enough to have burnt his skin, yet no such mark was evidence at the autopsy.
Absolutely. I learned that the hard way.
Right?
Never picked up an ejected shell right immediately.
Right? So had the actor been placed on the bed sometime after he was shot? If this was the case, then clearly he had not fired the gun himself, and another party was involved. Further to this, a later search of the bedroom found 2 extra bullet holes. Multiple gunshot suicides are rare, so if these shots were contemporary to the Reeves' death, it seems unlikely that he was the shooter. If they were fired earlier, then in the very least, it's evidence somebody in the house had somewhat caliber attitudes in firearms.
I need to see. I can't see what's on Restream. I mean, I can, but I can't read everybody's sentence because my camera picture covers it.
Oh, gotcha.
Part of it.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Lenore?
Okay.
I think it's because we're sharing the story. You have that up?
Right, yeah. Lenore Lemon was all by all counts a bit of a hellraiser. Hard drinking and hard partying. She gave as good as she got and had the dubious distinction of being the first woman to thrown out of New York famous store club for fist fighting. So she had a rep of a badass rep. Freaky Geek said that's what I was thinking. One shot should do the trick. Not really. Yeah.
Thank you, Beth.
She also had the reputation as a gold digger, having married twice before for money.
So maybe it came down to the fact that, okay, he lost his job as Superman, and maybe she didn't know that they were actually going to reboot him.
That could be.
For more money, so she figured he's going broke. I need to do something.
Right. That could be.
And the cover-up part, what kind of insurance money did she collect?
Well, they were engaged.
That doesn't mean anything.
Back then, doesn't it? Didn't you have
No,
to
see, like you,
yeah.
I can go get an insurance policy right now. We're not married. But I could put your name on it.
That's true. So that's him and her.
Sharing you out galore. Oh, thank you, Cassie.
Thank you so much. So, Lemon and Reeves had a stormy relationship, but at least according to her, were engaged to be married. At least according to her. On the night of his death, the pair had gone for dinner with writer Richard Condon, who was staying at the couple's house while he worked on his biography of Archie Moore, the prizefighter. Reeves had been due to fight in a celebrity boxing match later that year. According to Condon, Lemon was in a combative mood that night and had made somewhat of a scene at the restaurant. The argument had carried over back to the house, and Lemon apparently upset by the suspicion that Reeves had been talking to previous girlfriend Toni Mannix. Years later, William Bliss, one of the party guests who had originally told police Lenore Lemon was downstairs with them when the shot was heard, changed his story, talking to a friend, Millicent. Isn't that how you say it? It's an older name, Millicent. I think that's how you say it. Trent. Bliss said that Lemon had actually...
Bag.
Huh?
Just say old bag.
Not nice. Bliss said Lemon had actually rushed down the stairs after the gunshot and urged him to tell him I was down here.
Mm-hmm.
Was Lemon with Reeves when he shot himself?
And here's the thing, too, when you said they didn't even do a proper crime scene investigation, I didn't hear a word about blood splatter anywhere or anything. You know what I mean?
The police did not treat the house as a crime scene, and Lemon was able to return shortly after they had left, have the bloody sheets washed, retrieved $4,000 in traveler's checks, and leave Los Angeles for New York, never to return again, not even for Reeves' funeral. Pretty messed up, right?
I'm telling you.
Lenore would give many accounts of the events that night, often contradicting herself and denying that she was commonly reported to what have said and done. She died alone in her apartment over New Year 1989. Her body was not found for 4 days.
That's exactly what I've been saying, Freaky. He says somebody sounds guilty.
Right?
And I believe it. It's such a cover-up. Especially if he knew he was coming back to produce more, to direct more, have more money. Why would you go kill yourself?
Right. The fourth one is the jilted showgirl. Mobster Mickey Cohen once described Toni Mannix as the only person in Hollywood who has any balls. So when George Reeves spurned his long-term mistress for a younger model, she did not take it lying down. Reeves himself was convinced it was Mannix behind a string of strange incidents that had befallen him in the aftermath of their breakup. He was unindicted with menacing silent phone calls at the house all hours of the morning and night. Someone even abducted his dog, Sam.
Damn, they stole his dog?
They stole his dog.
That's some crap right there.
That's Toni Mannix with her husband at that time, Eddie Mannix. That's the one that when there was a scandal going on.
He was the one that would cover it.
Yes, he covered it all up.
He'd sweep it under the carpet.
Yeah. Worst of all occurred on April 8th when Reeves lost control of his Jaguar and careered into a cement pillar near his home in Benedict Canyon. He was lucky to escape with head injuries that required him to take powerful painkillers right up until the night he died. The accident was rendered in a more sinister light when Reeves' mechanic discovered the brake fluid in the car had been drained and had the unusual Disney actor neglected to maintain his prized Jaguar properly.
That was his fault too.
And people had suspected it was a murder attempt by Toni Mannix. So here you have your fiance trying to kill you, your ex-lover trying to kill you, who's married to the guy who cleans up.
Can get everything cleaned up.
Wow. If Mannix was trying to extinguish the Man of Steel, it's unlikely she pulled the trigger that night in 1579 Benedict Canyon. More adept with withering, foul-mouthed, put-downs violence was not really her style. Besides, she was married to the most dangerous man in Hollywood, who had a formidable reputation for being able to make problems disappear.
Again, there is no formal investigation of the scene.
Yeah.
Immediately, his body is pumped full of formaldehyde.
Right.
It just 3 bullet holes, 1 bullet. 1 casing, a casing that he laid on, which never left a burn mark. There was no gunpowder residue on his hand or his temple. I don't know. Who
do you guys think did it?
I think Toni had it done.
Do you think I don't think her husband did it?
I don't think she killed him because, no, it was Lemon that waited 40 minutes to call the cops.
Yes, his fiance.
That would have gave whoever killed him enough time to get away from the scene without being spotted. Where he could have leisurely just walked downstairs, talked with a few people, and then walked out.
Freaky.
Or it's better on YouTube.
I think the killer did it. That's what Freaky said.
I don't know, Freaky. The killer, he might be innocent.
So it says, while highly suspected, some collaboration of this comes from Reeves' own Lois Lane, actress Phyllis Coates. Coates had become a mutual friend of both her Superman co-star and Toni Mannix the night she received a disturbing call. In the early hours of June 16, Mannix called Coates. She was hysterical and told a friend that Reeves had been murdered. This was before news of Reeves' death had gotten out.
How the hell is that possible?
It always remained a mystery to Coates how Mannix could have known Reeves was murdered unless she was a party to it.
Now, you can't say murder because you're claiming it was a suicide.
Right.
So it's not a murder.
It seems the dark secret haunted her for the rest of her life. According to publicist Edward Lozzie, who had befriended Toni during her last years as a widow in Beverly Hills, she had weighed heavily on now elderly Mannix. She was absolutely terrified of going to hell, Lozzie told LA Times. In 1983, the publicist sat by her bed during her last hours, knowing she was the last person on earth to know the truth, confessed all to her priest. She and Eddie had used his underworld connections to have Reeves killed. Her devastation at being rejected by her boy had pushed her to the ultimate reprisal. In her is her confession credible? Clearly she had the motive, and through her ruthless and well-connected husband, she certainly had the means.
Thank you, Beth. She says I shared this out, and you had 5 more people. Something worked.
Thank you, Beth. Is this confession credible, do you think? But she also was suffering from Alzheimer's at the time of her death, and may have confused facts with many fictions that had long circulated about the death of her former lover.
If she was suffering Alzheimer's, you can't take that as a credible statement.
Right.
But I don't know either. Because even today, on your deathbed, if you convict somebody of something and then you die, that word is basically as good as gold, which don't make sense.
Right. So what do you guys think? Do you think it was the jilted lover of Toni Mannix who had the husband that could clean up anything in Hollywood? Or do you think it was Lemon, his fiance there?
I think it was all of them.
You really do?
Yep. I have a feeling that Maddox and Lemon and Maddox's husband was in a love triangle.
Ooh, that could be.
Well, Betty is copying Cassie.
So the next story we have is the Amityville Horrors.
Alzheimer's can recall things from 30 years ago much clearer than 2 months. That's not necessarily true, Freaky.
What's that? People suffering?
He says people suffering from Alzheimer's can recall things from 30 years ago much clearer than 2 months or 5 minutes ago.
Sometimes they do. Like my dad.
That's why I said it's not necessarily true.
Right. But like with my dad, he kept calling out for Lucy, which was his first wife.
Right, and I understand that. But you're part of the core group, Cassie. We have to look up to you. Cassie, she's not liking the idea of a love triangle thing.
No? No love trial?
And then Freaky was mean to Beth. Because he left Restream or dlive or whatever he was at and went back to YouTube.
Oh, no.
Oh, my copying Cassie when I'm over here.
All right, so we know about the Amityville Horrors. We know about the Amityville murder. We know about the Amityville House. We know about the Lutzes. We know about the DeFeos.
We all know it's BS.
But
you're not out of the loop. Oh, wait a minute. I hope he ain't referring to a love triangle. Because
tell us more, Freaky Geek.
If he is, I definitely am out of the loop. Okay.
So we know Ronnie DeFeo killed his family, right? Or at least that's what it,
That's how they portray
how
it.
the story goes. But was there another gunman? And it's going to be shocking of who you think it is.
The mom.
Or who they think it is.
The grandma.
So we all know we all know.
This house, it's a famous house.
Yeah. We know the house of the movies.
Yep.
So it says the iconic, and of course, all the links are always in the description below.
Even though I don't see them.
Yeah, you're not privileged.
I am deprived of everything. I don't get lemons. I don't get moon cookies.
The iconic Dutch colonial-style building of 112 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, is best known today for the extraordinary account of a haunting in the house in 1976. The Amityville Horror, as it was soon known, became one of the world's most famous incidents of paranormal activity. Thank you for the
Thank you,
lemons.
Freaky. It's because I said I don't get lemons. And Cassie, that's really good to know because I'm not into that either.
The Amityville Horror was soon known as one of the most famous incidences of paranormal activity ever recorded. It would inspire a book and a successful series of Hollywood films. The account of the young Lutz family being tormented by demonic pigs, plagues of flies, and green slime oozing from the walls terrified readers and moviegoers, as all the more so because it was labeled a true story. One surprising little known fact about the Amityville Horror is that when it was an admitted hoax, George Lutz and his wife Kathy invented the haunting with the help of the lawyer and their literary agent William Weber. But it really screwed up their kids. The Lutz's kids. But the paranormal version obscures a real horror, one far more frightening and mysterious than the fanciful tales of poltergeist Hollywood gave the world, because in the same house, less than 2 years earlier, one of the strangest and most baffling mass murders in recent history occurred. And of course, here's a bigger shot of the house. I didn't realize how long it was, I guess. I don't know why, but I didn't realize how long it was.
Beth says that they changed the windows to disguise the house.
They didn't just change the windows. I know because I've researched the story a very long time. They moved the whole house.
Well, yeah, I was going to say I didn't remember anything about them changing the windows.
That back there, Freaky Geek, that what you saw back here, that's the boathouse. But yeah, I didn't realize how long it was. I don't know why that never occurred to me.
Because they never really showed you a side view of the house.
That's true.
It was usually just straight on.
The first sign that something was terribly wrong in this picturesque Suffolk County coastal, and you've heard of Suffolk County, living in New York. It's always come up on the Weather Channel. Coastal village of Amityville came at around 6:30 p.m. when a frantic local resident named Ronnie DeFeo Jr. burst into Henry's bar with a shocking story. "You gotta help me," he yelled. "I think my mom and father are shot." Several of the bar's patrons immediately, of course, rushed to his house, where they both were hit with the stench of death. DeFeo's mother and father were both shot in their beds. Worse still, 4 of their children had been slaughtered as well. One of the men, Joe Jesuit, called the Suffolk County Police with an awful news. On their arrival, a search of the house confirmed the worst. Every member of the DeFeo family, except for Bush, was dead. The victims, of course, were Ronald DeFeo, Louise DeFeo, 4 of their children, Don, Allison, Mark, and John Matthew, which this is them. Of course, this is Ronnie.
Now, did they say how long these bodies were dead before they were discovered?
It'll explain more in the. This is Don, and then the other 3. Each of them had been shot execution style at close range as they slept, and all 6 were found laying on their beds, face down on their stomachs. As police trawled the house, the lone survivor, Butch DeFeo, cut a forlorn figure outside, refused to go inside. DeFeo mentioned to the officers that he felt a mob hit man was responsible for these killings, a suggestion taken seriously because of the methodology of the way the family had seemed to be killed. DeFeo was taken into police custody for his own protection, but didn't stick to his mob story for very long. Within 24 hours, the surviving DeFeo had made a shocking confession. He had murdered his entire family himself. Once I started, I just couldn't stop. It went so fast, DeFeo told stunned detectives. After the murders, he admitted he took a shower, changed his clothes, and disposed of the murder weapon. With a confession, the subsequent investigation seemed straightforward. At around... Thank you for the follow, BR Fox Gamer. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it.
Nobody can hear you over that music. You were sitting there talking the whole time, but you can't hear over that music.
Well, thank you for the follow. Again. Thank you for the follow.
Thank you, B-Box
Gamer. I appreciate it. With a full confession, the subsequent investigation seemed straightforward, and around 3:15 a.m. on November 13th, Butch DeFeo had awoken and, for reasons that may forever remain unclear, took a .35 caliber Marlin rifle and systematically shot all 6 members of his family.
Messages today with Restream chat. Who is Restream? But, oh, that's Restream itself. I'm like, who the hell is that?
So, this, of course, is Ronnie's mugshot. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Freaky. When the music's playing, when somebody follows or something, you can't hear.
That's my bad. I didn't know. What the hell do I know? I know. But some of the detectives, keen to quickly wrap up their biggest murder case ever, could see that there was something very wrong with his story. How had Butch shot 6 people in 4 different rooms without any of them waking up?
And I said that before.
Yep. We've said it many times.
The neighbors never heard a gunshot?
How had no neighbors heard the rifle blast? If everyone was shot in bed, how was the blood splatter? There was blood splatter on the floor and the dresser.
And now, not only that, you're going to tell me every single one of the members of their family sleep on their stomach?
Right.
So nobody laid on their back. He didn't have to fight or struggle to get them to roll over and shoot them in the back of the head.
Many had to begin to feel that Butch could not have acted alone. Unburnt gunshot residue on DeFeo's sister's Dawn even indicated she might have been involved.
No, it was a rifle, Freaky. So I seriously doubt it had a silencer.
Right through the veil, evil silenced it.
It could be. I mean, that is supposed to be the most haunted house in the world.
Evidence for... Here we go. Here's the evidence for... At the subsequent trial, Ronald DeFeo Jr. proved to be a terrible witness. His story constantly changed, and his erratic and strange behavior alienated him to everyone. He even threatened to kill the judge and his own lawyer. On November 21st, 1975, he was found guilty on 6 counts of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to 6 concurrent 25-year sentences. Now, he is unlikely to ever be released, but despite the conviction, it was clear that there was a serious problem with the official story.
TTVP, I would love to go there.
The court had determined that DeFeo had acted alone, killing all 6 members of his family with a .35-gauge Marlin rifle. DeFeo had supposedly shot each victim as they slept, and both prosecution and defense agreed he had not used a silencer.
I don't know of any company that even makes a silencer for a rifle.
That was his mom and his dad.
I mean, how do you have enough time to kill them both without one of them waking up?
Summer Breeze, which is Beth, is saying hi to everybody on YouTube. For some reason, the stupid chat don't work over there.
No, I didn't notice it wasn't going through.
Oh, that's right, because everybody's seeing the big screen. That's why. So, I don't have to say because it's working again on OBS.
I can't get out of the car. Seriously, not the house. It's the property that has. Wasn't that house built on a burial ground?
It was. Yeah, it was said that it was built on Indian burial ground, or at least it had something very menacing about it with Indians, something like they had cursed it or something.
Yeah, because I remember a story a long time ago where didn't they spot apparitions of Indians?
I believe so, yes, at one point in time. So he said, how did DeFeo commit the shooting alone without any of his family waking up? Defense experts had conducted an experiment on the Marlin rifle and found it report was so loud that it could be heard almost a mile away. According to the autopsy and ballistic report, each victim was shot as they were found. They were each shot as they were found, face down in their beds.
No, freaky. Oh, well, they might have found old graves in the basement, but I don't remember that.
So it seemed none of them had been awoken by the shots, and no one had put any kind of struggle or tried to flee or hide from the scene.
So do you think maybe one of them would hold them down?
I don't know. Ken Gaguski, the former Amityville police chief, was one of the first law enforcement professionals on the scene. To this day, he finds it hard to believe that DeFeo could have committed the shootings without any members of his family waking. Why someone wasn't able to get out of the house is beyond belief, he later said.
Yeah, it just don't make sense.
What made this particularly inexplicable was the locations of the 6 bodies strongly suggested that DeFeo could not have committed the shooting so rapidly that nobody had any time to react. In fact, DeFeo had fired a total of 8 ear-shredding shots, estimated to be about 140 decibels each, in 4 different rooms of the sprawling house across 2 different floors. And yet it seems he didn't disturb no one, nor did any neighbors hear the shots.
That's another amazing thing.
Yeah.
Because with a rifle like that, they said you'll hear that crack up to a mile away.
Right.
And back then, these houses are only 20...
That's what it says next. It says 112 Ocean Ave was not an isolated property. It was surrounded quite closely by other homes. When police interviewed the residents, nobody reported hearing anything except the barking of DeFeo's family dog. Dr. Howard Edelman, Deputy Chief Medical Examiner of Suffolk County, was present at the crime scene and personally conducted the autopsies on the DeFeo family. He testified at the trial that he felt it was impossible one person could have committed the crime scenes.
Hold on.
Yeah.
No, we went out and lagged together. Hello?
Hello?
All right, it's back.
So, and even like Dawn DeFeo, the oldest sister, her bedroom was on the 3rd floor. So even if they were asleep, the report of the weapon that was used is supposed to be so loud that it would have, so to speak, awakened the dead, he said. And neither had any of the victims been drugged. We did extensive toxicology, not only to the blood and urine, but to all the organs that were removed and turned up 0, that there wasn't anything in their body.
So there would have been nothing that would have caused them from not waking up,
right,
hearing the rifle shot.
Right. The idea.
I wonder. I understand they did an autopsy. They looked at the bullet wound. Were they possibly knocked out? And he could go through and kill them?
I don't know. The idea that Butch DeFeo had committed the crimes on his own was becoming increasingly untenable. Even the man who secured DeFeo's 25 to life prison sentence for the crimes, prosecutor Jared Sullivan, long suspected that other shooters were involved. I wonder about the questions that were never asked. Did any of the victims wake up? If so, why didn't any of them defend themselves? Why were all 6 found face down in death? Why didn't anyone hear the shots? He wrote his book, High Hopes, in 1981. If then, as seemed like DeFeo hadn't acted alone, who helped him commit this horrifying crime? So the first suspect, they said, several investigators and authors have suggested Butch DeFeo's oldest sister, Dawn, played some part of the shootings. The first 5 victims were on the second floor of DeFeo's house. Ron S&R and Ron Sr., and Louise DeFeo were both shot twice in the master bedroom. Moving across to the other side of the house, the gunman then shot the two boys, Mark and John, completing the second floor shootings.
So that should have woke the kids up if he shot 4 times in the master bedroom.
Right.
Now he's got to go all the way across the house.
Yep.
Which would have gave them kids plenty enough time to get out of there.
And that the 13-year-old Allison was shot once in the head.
Sister and mother got up and shot in the chest and fell back down. Sister was shot in the face. That's not according to the story.
Not according to this. 13-year-old Allison DeFeo was shot once in the head. There's a total of 7 shots at 140 decibels each before the gunman even started to ascend the stairs to Don DeFeo's 3rd bedroom. It is therefore unthinkable that Don, entirely unsedated or drugged, would not have already been alerted to the gunman before they even arrived on the 3rd floor. Yet, as we've seen, she appeared to be peacefully asleep, face down in her bed, having made no attempt to escape, defend herself, or hide. And here's her picture. She was again face down. Had Dawn, as some suspected, actually participated in the shooting herself, only to be then shot by her brother and placed in her bed. Although Butch DeFeo is notorious for sheer numbers of contradictory stories he has told about the murders over the years, one of his more consistent accounts is indeed that Dawn took part in the killings.
Hello, Mittens.
Hey, Mittens! Welcome, welcome. Oops, wrong one. Some evidence does exist to tentatively support this scenario. Dawn seems to have been killed somewhere other than her bed and placed there after her death. In most versions of the stories, he claimed responsibility for the murders of his mother and father and showed little remorse for them. But he has often blamed Dawn for killing the family's children, Mark, John, and Allison. After discovering what she had done, DeFeo says that he killed Dawn after a struggle with the rifle. Crime scene investigators discovered that Dawn had suffered a huge head wound and that brain matter and blood was on her pillow, bedclothes, and nightgown. Yet her white headboard, just inches away from her head, was pristine. The lack of blood splatter was strongly indicative that she had been shot somewhere else. Blood splatter was also found on a dresser and floorboards in the house, again demonstrating the possibility at least some of the shootings had occurred away from the beds. Some investigators have speculated that unburnt gunshot residue found on Dawn's body indicates that she may have handled a firearm or ammunition. Although the prosecution expert at the trial, Alfred Della Penna, thought that this could have occurred as a result of a muzzle flash when Dawn was shot. Rick Moran, amongst the first group of reports at the scene the night of the bodies were discovered, he studied that DeFeo murders for more than 30 years, and he's sure that Dawn was involved in some way. That's messed up. That's messed up.
So why would the brother accept the sister's help to do this? And then he turns around and kills her.
Well, Moran cites that one of Butch DeFeo's strangest claims among his many conflicting statements as evidence. DeFeo said that several times that on that night of the shootings, he was watching TV in a drug-induced haze when a strange black hooded figure came to him and handed him a rifle and urged him to commit the murders. Moran thinks that this figure could have been Don. According to the reporter, Don was often spotted by neighbors wearing a black snorkel-style coat, which may have led a heavily stoned Butch to mistake her for a sinister figure.
The devil made me do it.
Although clearly highly anecdotal, Moran says that one of his contacts at the Drug Enforcement Agency backs up the story. He had told Moran that someone from the DEA actually had the house under surveillance the night of the murders due to the suspicion that Butch had been smuggling drugs in a speedboat. The DEA agent had supposedly observed Dawn in her black coat leaving the house with a rifle, getting into a car, and driving off in the direction the firearm was subsequently found by police. If Dawn and Butch plotted the murders together, could Butch's incapacity due to heavy drugs have spurred Dawn to commit them herself?
Maybe Dawn drugged him and gave him too much.
And once Butch came down, he had shot Dawn after the horror of what she had done dawned on him?
Maybe that's what happened. That's why he shot her. And him being in the drugged out stage, now he's got the rifle in his hands. He sees all the family members dead. So maybe he thinks, damn, I did kill everybody. But he didn't.
Right. On the face of it, the scenario seems far-fetched, but it does explain many of the puzzling, interactable issues with the crime scene. And evidence from the trial indicates Dawn's mindset may have been disturbed enough to make her taking such an extreme action seemed at least plausible. Dawn's boyfriend, William Davidge, stated to the court that Dawn was a habitual user of LSD and mescaline. And what is mescaline?
Oh.
Does anybody out there know? Where's Andy?
The worst thing I smoke is pot.
And had recently started to become extremely hostile towards her parents because they had refused to allow her to live with him. The DeFeo family were all accounts dysfunction and troubled, and Ron DeFeo Sr. was reported to be particularly violent, controlling and abusive to both his wife and children. All commonly cited factor as a parent side.
Did all chat stop?
They're listening, honey.
Your freaky does more than just listen, though.
I can go on.
Actually, Beth might have got to him when she told him.
Dun, dun, dun. In the hours following the shooting, when the police interviewed a local Amityville residents, many told detectives they felt Butch DeFeo was responsible. So what do you guys think? Do you think... That's like me.
She told him to shut up and listen.
So what do you guys think? Do you think Don was... Do you guys have any speculation?
I have a funny feeling that Ronnie was part of it. He had no idea that he was part of it. Right. Or he could have came to realize what was going on, fought with his sister, and ended up shooting her. Right. And now he has no idea, but he thinks I killed them all.
Right. The ammunition, this was his room. The ammunition for the murder weapon was found in his room.
That could have been staged.
Well, most likely. I mean, he was around guns. I know that.
But what I'm saying, though, is the ammunition for that rifle could have been staged in his room. Especially if he was drug-induced. Now, here's a good thing. Did they ever talk about drawing his blood? Doing the toxicology test?
They didn't say.
Did you see what I'm saying? They
didn't say, but he did admit to being high.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Did he take it willingly? Or did his sister drug him.
Right. All right, we got time for one more story. So do you guys want to hear about the Taman Shud case or the Hagley Wood mysteries about the Bella in the wych elm tree, the body that was found in the wych elm tree?
And this is coming from the woman that asked me if I had my story open.
Or we can hear Eddie's story.
No.
We can hear your story.
No, I don't want to.
I'm sorry, my bad.
No.
I forgot that you had your own story.
You asked me to open it.
I know, I did.
One's the longest. Freaky, all her stories long.
That's right. It's because I want to give you guys the information that you need. So the woman found dead in the wych elm tree could be a wartime England Nazi spy. And
didn't we watch something?
yes, we did. That's what inspired me to look it up and research it. The other one is the Taman Shud case, which is the identified man that was found on Adelaide Beach in 1948. And could he be a Cold War spy? What's that? On what, Ron?
I don't even see Ron.
Ron's on dlive if he had the OBS open, the OBS chat.
No, I got it open. But mine is...
It might be lagging for you.
I thought I had it up
now
there.
it went off. There it goes.
Default.
He wrote there was another story that a psychic was helping him. What? Helping DeFeo?
I'm not calling psychics hacks or, unbelievable. It's hard to, I don't know. It's just, yeah. But, Freaky got a lemon dancing. Ronnie was working.
Oh, was working psychic. Okay, gotcha.
Trust me, TTVP, I was confused my damn self.
I know, it's contagious. It's my fault, Freaky, because, I can't talk right anyway.
But, let's see. My story is set from 1974, I believe. And back then, it has to do with hitchhiking.
Right.
And this girl just
you should never hitchhike.
Up in Van. Back then, back in the 70s, it was cool.
That's true. I did hitchhike from Rochester to Caledonia.
Exactly. So I don't want to hear
good amount of. It's 45 minutes in a car.
Before Ronnie died of cancer. Vale says, I hear my name.
Did I psychically call it? I'm sorry.
All right, just pick a story.
I'll have to check that out through the veil. That's pretty cool.
Is you talking about
watch the new video of me speaking the words of the spirits through the spirit box.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm looking right at it. Because she was telling me about the stories that were found in the newspaper.
Right.
About the Amity House.
Yeah.
So I told her that I would actually go and look into that a little bit more.
Well, I can do that too, Freaky Geek, if you want.
Better to pick your story than pick a nose.
I'm joking.
I used to hitchhike all the time. And it never had a worry in the world.
Well, we'll do the Taman Shud case, unless you want to do yours. We can do yours.
No, do yours.
I remember it was one of the stories that when I first heard it, it gave me chills. Like I heard it years ago.
Wait, is this the one, the witch tree?
No.
I like that. That was.
You want to do the witch tree one? We can.
That was a freaky friggin' program.
Okay. So this is the Bella of the wych elm. Okay, witch spelled WYCH. YCH. So, we'll start this. Let me get over here so I can. Eddie's going to keep us in suspense for a month. I know, right?
No, hey, whoa. Misty said we have time for one more story. And she gave you two choices. She just threw me out there and said, screw you. You ain't saying your story. I thought you said it doesn't say WY.
No. Right here.
Oh, there it is.
Me. I didn't mean to burp. I didn't even. Oh my God, I burped on. I didn't
hear it.
I just realized I did it. Okay, so. Sorry about that, guys. With that picture being shown, one Sunday morning in April 1943.
Cowgirl Paranormal, hello.
Hey, Cowgirl Paranormal, welcome. How you doing?
It's hard to say holy Cowgirl Paranormal because you
Are you
can't
going to give her a nickname like you did?
No. But you can't go holy and paranormal in the same damn sentence.
Yeah. So on one Sunday morning in April 1943, during the dark days of World War II, 4 teenage boys made a terrifying discovery that would baffle the police and remain a mystery for over 70 years. The boys were searching for birds' nests at Hagley Woods, a private estate near Birmingham, England's Midlands. Climbing up an ancient old wych elm tree, 15-year-old Bob Farmer saw something truly terrible.
I'm going to take it that Cowgirl Paranormal is Terry because Beth said, hi, Terry. So if that is who it is, Terry, Beth says hi.
For some reason, my restream is not capturing my YouTube, so
we're kind of relaying the hellos.
Yes. Either that or Beth over there was just talking to herself. Oh, thank you through the veil. Love you, girl. Thank you so much for coming in, hon.
Safe travels.
Safe travels, and I hope you have an awesome time.
Absolutely. Take a lot of pictures.
And a lot of videos.
Yes,
because we want to see. Take care, hon. So the boys were searching for birds' nests, and 15-year-old Bob Farmer saw something truly terrible. Looking down the hollowed-out trunk, Farmer noticed a strange object staring back at him from the dark interior. The teenager was horrified when he realized it was a skull, a human skull.
Cool, Vale. Have a good trip.
A clump of hair hung off the remaining flesh of the forehead, and 2 crooked teeth gaped out of the mouth. After the boys had a good look at the horrific find, they put it back in the tree and left the woods.
Well, what the hell would you have done?
I would have done the same thing.
Well, I wouldn't even have stuffed it back in the tree. I'd have just dropped the damn thing and ran.
Right. So that's the skull. Oh, I don't know. I couldn't imagine finding something like that. They agreed amongst themselves not to tell anyone about their discovery. They told they were trespassing in the woods, poaching no less. And if they told the police, they could get in big trouble. You know, teenage boys, you get scared and you don't want to say shit.
I want to know how they're trespassing in the woods.
Well, it's probably signed. Did it signed back then? Did they have signs?
What year was this?
1943?
Yeah,
I'm sure they did.
Seriously doubt they had no trespassing signs.
I don't know. Well, anyway. But one of the boys was so upset that he told his father, and the police were soon called to the area. What they found inside the old tree trunk was bizarre.
Ron's mooning.
He's a mooner over there. I'm telling you. That's why I named my people over the sub
is mooners.
Yes, they become the mooners. The skeleton of a young woman, minus one of her hands, a piece of taffeta, was stuffed in the skull's mouth.
A piece of what?
Taffeta.
What the hell is that?
It's like fabric.
Oh. Some
scrapes of clothes with the labels called cut out, Battered shoes and a gold ring were also found in the tree.
So basically, nothing was taken from her.
Right. Nearby were the bones of the woman's hands, scattered next to the tree. The police were troubled by the unusual circumstances of the woman's death, if they were sinister forces at work in Hagley Wood.
Did you get tongue-tied, or?
No, I was reading Freaky Geeks. Oh, neat. Did not notice the words before.
What words?
That's what I was trying to figure out. Oh, I think on the icon, because he shared a Ron, it says Ron Weasley. But he didn't, never mind. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, I'm lost.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's like where we like to keep you. Pathologist James Webster was able to determine the victim had died around 18 months ago, was around 35 years of age with mousy-colored hair, was 5 feet tall and had given birth in the past, and had irregular teeth.
I'm not going to ask what that thing is that Beth is supposed to put there.
It's a wolf with a hole into the moon.
Okay, mine is like this big.
I know. So this is what a witch elm looks like. And this is what she was supposedly, I guess. Yeah, taffeta was like, it's almost like they use it for, to fluff up a dress. Like it's after the slip.
All you had to say was it's fabric. I don't need the damn exact detail of what the hell it is.
So that's kind of basically what she supposedly looked like.
She was ugly.
That's a witch elm. I never knew what a witch elm was.
But she said it's saying she was only 5 foot tall.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she was stuffed in there.
I know. I remember watching that.
I know. That's so weird. Webster couldn't find no obvious injuries and concluded that she was probably died the result of cloth stuffed down her throat. He also believed that she had been placed in the tree shortly after death because the space was so tight inside she would not have fit once rigor mortis had set in. From Webster's work, the police managed to create a detailed description of the woman, but nobody came forward in search of 3,000 missing persons case around the country proved fruitless.
See, I'm not going to say anything because we watched the program.
Right.
And if I remember from the program correctly, I want to see if this story says it.
Okay. A nationwide search of dental practices also drew a blank. The woman had dental work done within a year of her death, but there was not a trace of her presence.
No, she can't, Beth.
Any surgery. The flurry of press interest soon faded. The travails of war were at the center of most people's thoughts, and the area had suffered 3 years of Luftwaffe bombing, and life was hard. Christmas of 1943 approached. People had forgotten about the strange case of the woman in the tree. Right? And that happens. People get murdered, and it just goes out. People forget about it, right?
It's not they forget about it. It's just not interesting anymore.
Right. Until the graffiti started. Who put Lou Bell down the witch elm? The first one said. Then Hagley Wood Bella soon started on. And then they soon settled on who put Bella in the witch elm. The graffiti appeared on walls throughout the West Midlands, seemingly by the same hand. Someone, it seemed, knew more than they were letting on.
Thank you, Freaky.
Freaky Geek, for the lemon. I appreciate it. From then on, the woman found in the old helm of Hagley would be known as Bella, even by police. But they were not able to find out who was responsible for the graffiti, and no one closer to answering the question. Was the writer of graffiti taunting the police? Had they killed Bella, or knew who had? Folklorist Mary Murray suggests Bella may have been killed in the occult ceremony. The removal of the hand is typical of black magic execution. Here's another picture of the So the first one was here. Who put Bella in the witch elm?
And then it's spelled differently on this one.
Who put Bella down the witch elm? Hagley Wood.
This one's spelled W-I, where the first one was spelled W-I.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was. That's right, because you did say something about that in the beginning.
Holy shit, she paid attention to me.
It's a miracle.
First time for everything.
The theory that Bella had fallen victim to a coven of witches was popular for a while, but with the absence of the genuine leads from the police, that the case eventually went cold. It wasn't until 1953 who journalist Wilfred Boyd Jones started to write about the old case of the Wolverhampton Express and Star that interest was revived. Byford Jones would soon receive the first solid lead in nearly a decade. A letter, signed only Anna, offered new details of what happened to Bella. According to the letter, Bella was murdered because of her involvement with the Nazi spy ring operating in the Midlands in the 1940s. The spy theory seemed more rooted in reality than talk of witchcraft. Hundreds of German spies were captured in Britain during the war, and the Midlands would have been a valuable source of intelligence because it was prevalence of factories. Was Bella in the witch elm part of the Nazi spy ring?
What did Beth say? I can't see what.
Eddie, she has to listen sometimes to catch you off guard. So the evidence for the spy ring, right? Journalist Wilfred Byford Jones received that letter in 1953 from Anna saying that she was involved in the World War II spy ring.
Yes, Freaky, that's exactly what they're trying to explain. That they killed her in a way to throw them off the path.
Right. It says, finish your articles regarding the witch elm crimes by all means. They are interesting to your readers, but you will never solve the mystery. The one person who could give you the answer is now beyond the jurisdiction of earthly courts. The affair is closed and involves no witches, black magic, or moonlight rites. Byford Jones was naturally intrigued. Whoever wrote these words clearly had first-hand knowledge of what had happened. After subsequent correspondence, Anna revealed herself to be Una Messop and told the full story. Her husband, Jack, had worked at a local munitions factory. I don't know what that is. In the early 1940s, and had come to some money after meeting a mysterious Dutchman. Jack later admitted.
Hold on. All right. Bad leg.
Are we
Hello?
good?
Oh, yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It just came back.
Okay. Jack later admitted to Una that the Dutchman was a Nazi agent. Jack had been passing information about local industry sites, which in turn was passed to another agent posing a cabaret performer at a local theater. The Midlands had been bombarded by the Luftwaffe in the early 40s, and such information would have been invaluable for the Nazis to target the raids, where there had been most damage to Britain's war effort. That's so weird. I wonder why it does that.
This is the third time today.
Would it be from their working out there?
It could be, but I doubt it.
Because they are cutting up our whole road. They're replacing all the sewer lines and water lines in the city.
Yeah, I still don't think that has anything to do with it.
Okay.
Just for some reason, I mean, it's not only going into a lag, we will completely lose
It'll
the
disappear.
mic. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Huh.
That's why when I tell you, hold on a second, it's because it's not going through.
That's weird. No, I was seeing if I was touching any wires.
But we're back now, so.
So one day, Jack met his contact at the pub close to Hagley Wood. He was arguing with a Dutch woman. He ordered Jack drive them both out to the client hills, but the argument had grown extremely violent and the Dutch agent strangled the woman in the car. Fearing for his own life, Jack helped carry the body to the nearby Hagley Woods, with a pair buried in the hollow old elm tree. Una's husband was apparently so traumatized by the brutal murder of Bella that she had a nervous breakdown. Tormented by horrific visions of a woman's skull in a tree, Jack was institutionalized in 1941 and apparently died later that year. This time skip. What the hell was that?
I'm getting all my stuff discombobulated.
The time scale fitted quite well with Bella's death. The pathologist had estimated it was about 18 months prior to the body's discovery, which would have placed it in the middle of 1941. The information Una gave Byford Jones was convincing enough that the police and MI5 got involved. According to the journalist, they verified some details of Una's accounts but were unable to find any of the remaining perpetrators. With the involvement of the intelligence service, some have speculated there may have been a cover-up over the investigation of all the information. Just 8 years after the war, details of the spy rings may have still been classified. And the cover-up theory was also bolstered by the curious fact that Bella's remains had gone missing, precluding any further forensic examinations. The story faded back into semi-obscurity. An occasional piece of graffiti would briefly revive interest, but there were no new leads for another 15 years in a book by historian Donald McCormick. McCormick, Murdered by Witchcraft, despite its name, built upon the spy ring theory. McCormick had obtained Abwehr files, the records of German military intelligence. According to McCormick's information, a Nazi agent by the name of Dlive was operating in the Midlands in 1941, and he had a Dutch girlfriend living in Birmingham called Clara Bella Dronkers. Was Clara Bella the Bella that was found in the Wych Elm? Like Bella, she was about 30 years old, and like Bella, she apparently had crooked teeth. What's especially suggested about the identification is the real Nazi spy was captured in mid-1942 and executed at Wandsworth Prison on New Year's Eve that year. His name was Johannes Marinus Dronkers. So was Bella this Dutch spy's wife? The wedding ring found with her body lends credence to the idea, and if Bella was a foreigner, it would have explained why no trace of her could be found in England. It is possible that some kind of love triangle had developed amongst the agents, or that Bella had grown loose-lipped and risked revealing their existence to British authorities. While the exact nature of the operation and how this tangle of names and relationships fit together remains unclear, the notion that Bella was involved in something way with a spy ring seems quite convincing, though.
See, this isn't the same thing I remember watching.
This is more detailed, that's why.
Well, no, because what I'm saying is, I thought this woman left with two guys from like a pub or a bar or something, and going into the woods, she passed out or something, and they shoved her in this tree, and she couldn't get out, so she ended up dying in there from starving to death.
I don't know, I can't remember. In recent years, new declassified MI5 files from the war have shed some fresh light on the spy ring theory. In one file detailed the arrest and interrogation of the Czech-born Gestapo agent named Joseph Jacobs. Jacobs, who was a dubious distinction of the last man to be executed at the Tower of London, was captured after parachuting into Cambridgeshire in 1941. No, this Freaky Geek, we were watching a true, it was like basically what we're doing now. I think we were watching BuzzFeed.
I don't know what it was.
I think it was BuzzFeed.
But I remember the name of this.
Yeah. According to Jacobs, she was due to follow him.
Okay, Cassie.
No worries.
You and Beth have something in common.
According to Jacobs, she was due to follow him to England, although after his capture, he thought it was unlikely this had happened, but the timing made sense. So if that was her that was in the tree, the Clara, this is what she looked like. This is Clara Burry found it.
So she's actually kind of young.
She was in her 30s. That's what they said. Yeah, the coroner said.
Yeah, but back then, people in their 30s were old.
Nice.
Well, I'm just saying.
Nothing was heard of Bureau again after 1941. The year Bella had thought to have died. If she was not Bella in the Witch Elm, what happened to her? It's not too much of a stretch to see how Claire Bureau may have been remembered as Clara Bella to English audiences.
Oh, Beth, Freaky was saying TMI to your comment about earlier about messing around or something, but you were still listening.
There are also loose ends with the spy theory. None of the remaining members of the ring were ever found, and despite extensive searches. Even today, with wartime records declassified, very little light is ever shed on the pursuit spy ring. So the mystery remains basically who put Bella in the witch's elm.
They'll never know.
No.
Well, especially now.
Freaky, you're hooking? But yeah, I mean, it's a crazy story. It's one of those crazy stories that it'll never be known because it was so long ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're talking early to mid 40s.
Yeah.
So you're talking almost 100 years, 80 years ago.
Right.
So even if there's no way to find any evidence now.
Right, and they said even with the declassified wartime stuff, it's so hard to figure out if, you know.
Oh my God, that guy looks so damn ugly.
Oh, shut up. Why do I just realized, why didn't you guys tell me? Well, it wasn't up there before. I didn't realize that I had Wednesday's show on there.
Well, you didn't at first.
I didn't?
No, this morning you had a True Crime Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Who knows? So yeah, guys, what do you guys think? Do you think she was part of the spy ring, or do you think she just got murdered?
I think she was just murdered.
You think she was just murdered?
Yeah. She didn't look like she could be the spy kind of type. I mean, I know spies ain't supposed to advertise themselves.
Yeah.
Per se.
We're not supposed to know.
But she just looked too feminine to be a spy. But that's probably what makes her a good spy.
Yeah. All right, Freaky Geek. Well, hold on a minute, because I'm going to be letting loose.
Yep.
No more.
Getting ready to close it up, Freaky. Don't leave yet. He's probably halfway out the door going, damn it.
Damn it. The hell? All right, guys. Well, I thank you guys for coming in and hanging out.
Fist bumps, hugs. Stay safe. Stay strong. Talk to you tomorrow.
Hold on one second. And, of course, it didn't start. Why would it? Come on now.
Why would
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's good. Just hype up chat, guys.
What happened?
My Stupid thing didn't come up. My credits. I kept pressing credits, but it didn't come up, so I got to do it manually.
Oh, God bless America.
Lord. I'm going to shit when one of these, when it all works.
You ain't going to know what to do.
I know. I'm going to be all confused when everything works the right way.
You're going to get ready to just try to fix something and there ain't nothing to fix.
I know. I'll be like, what the hell's going on? All right, here come the credits. Maybe. There we go.
I don't see shit.
Well, hold on. There you go. I see the ears.
Oh, here comes the cat. Is that what that is?
Yes.
I wasn't sure.
Thank you, everybody, for having... I hope you guys had a great time. I definitely have.
I did, too.
Yeah, it was a fun day. We got through another day of the magnets.
Yes, we did. We only got 28 more days to go.
Tomorrow, on tomorrow's show, is, of course, UFOs and conspiracy theories.
You froze up.
What?
Oh, there it goes. It froze up.
Oh, we are going to be talking about the friendship case UFO, because Ron got me hooked and sent down a rabbit hole with that. And
then, imagine this, Shadow got me to run down a rabbit hole behind her.
I did. So with that being said, I have pressed the buttons. The lemons are on the loose. Press that button, guys.
Grab them quick.
Grab them. Yeah, 23 seconds, at least on my end.
Well, that's a long time.
I know, it does take a while. I don't know why. But I hope you all have a wonderful day. We'll definitely see you tomorrow for What Up Wednesdays. And same bat channel, same bat time. And Summer Breeze got them all. Nobody else clicked the button.
Wow,
Good
hey,
job,
way to go,
Summer
Beth.
Breeze. Woo, Beth.
So, I don't have no idea what the hell I was just going to say. I mean, I know what I was going to say. I just completely forgot what the hell I was going to say. Oh.
You're very welcome.
I always keep my eyes open for anybody that goes live so I can come join the channel, give you the like, give you the love, and give you the views. So.
And again, like I said, if you had a story or gone through something that you would love to share with us, send me an email. My email's down in the description, either to shadowsofthemoons@yahoo.com or shadowofthemoon1@yahoo.com. Thank you for the ice cream.
Oh, thank you, Beth. They can also shoot me damn mail at Chaos Awaits.
Yeah, but I forgot what your email is.
Oh my! See how much I am.
Thank you so
loved.
much for the diamond. Thank you, Beth. I appreciate
Oh
it.
wow, Beth! Thank you. That was the topper for the ice cream.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was.
Oh, okay, cool.
And now we get lemon flavor.
We get a threefold. We're supposed to name that when somebody does a 3-in-1, and I don't have a name for it.
I don't know. I'll have to think of one.
Okay. Well, how do you think of what a three-topper name? But anyway, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying.
About stories being sent to you.
Yes, if you have an experience or want to come up on the show, usually the second half of the show is where I invite people up or have you call into the hotline.
But today she just wouldn't shut up and ran it all the way to noon.
I know. Today I just wouldn't shut up. What can I say? Oh, really? You did it in order or out of order because it wouldn't let you at first? That's weird. But I appreciate it so much. I really, really do.
Absolutely, Beth. Thank you.
And yeah, so send me an email if you want to be anonymous, whether it's UFO related, alien related, conspiracy theory, if you want me to check something out and research it, paranormal wise, legends and lore, if you have some cryptids you want to talk about, please feel free to send me some info. If you want to be up on the show, definitely send me an email or get a hold of me through the social media.
And please remember, leave religion out of it, leave COVID out of it, and it'll be all good from there.
It's golden. It's golden. All right, guys. Take care. Be safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging with us.